and he was telling me how, he writes a lot of different stories on there. He's got some things on Amazon and such. And he offered me this one special story. He goes he was really proud of it because it was an exclusive that he did strictly in Braille. His kid was blind, so he wrote that specifically for them. And he's a really good writer and all, but after I took this Braille piece and I looked over the story and all, I really just wasn't feeling it.
Really? Really?
That's terrible. Oh God.
That was
zero tolerance policy.
What was the other bad joke that you had planned?
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't want to tip that one. He's saving it.
I'm keeping that one in the pocket, baby.
All right.
Oh boy. There's got to be some sort of anecdote about a joke in the pocket. Anyway, how are you all doing tonight? It's Thursday. It's one of our favorite nights of the week. And if you are watching us live here on YouTube, thank you. We are Figure Action, and we are a collector's podcast. And Dave is saying son of a bitch.
And we are off to a good start.
I know.
As per usual.
So if you are watching us live on YouTube, make sure you pop into the live chat where you can be part of the show, be interacting with our audience throughout the course of the evening. So thank you for joining us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, also make sure to drop us a like, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and that notification bell to see when we are coming to you live with our regular scheduled content and additional content. Joining me tonight is the usual cast of characters, starting off with True Star Screamer. How you doing, and what'd you get this week?
I am completely, utterly exhausted.
Uh-oh.
It's a great week.
Sorry.
I am in high-end retail, as you guys know, and we just had Memorial Day. I sold a ton of stuff, so I'm good with that. But yeah, no days off. No Memorial Day off.
Mm.
As for what I got me the Hasbro Overwatch Ultimates Reinhardt. I was able to get him for a good price. I will tell you now, if you're going to get this guy, get him for a good price. I do not feel he is worth the asking.
Well,
he does have trouble holding it. He has trouble keeping it up, I see.
This guy, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of the joint tolerances at all. And this was enough for me to just say I'm kind of done with the line because
wow,
it promises a lot, but it doesn't have the follow through on keeping that promise.
Off of one figure, you're gonna.
No, it's not off of one figure. All the figures have some kind of problem, one form or another.
Yeah, you have been voicing your concern about the other figures one by one, so I'd say this is cumulative. You definitely had trouble with
and
the
this
Anna
is just kind of like
2-pack.
Yeah, Anna Soldier. Anna can't hold her gun. Soldier drops his weapon. Farrah, I think, is one of my favorites of them all, but even then she still has trouble holding her gun.
Mercy is awesome.
Mercy's no, because Mercy doesn't grip her staff properly. Tracer is.
So we got one character that can't grip a staff and one character that can't get it up. I mean, or keep it up.
I will say this: Mercy has to use two hands to hold my staff.
Yeah. But I mean, Lucio's got balance issues, and his leg articulation is not my favorite. Sombra, because of her jacket, completely kills any articulation she's got.
But Sombra at least has got a beautiful paint job to offset.
So
they all have a beautiful paint job. Actually, they all have beautiful paint jobs. Tracer, I had the handbrake off of the first one of mine, but the Tracer's probably my favorite of the whole lot. But it's just, I'm sorry, but I'm not if I'm gonna go with Hasbro right now. This is I can't do this line. The Lightning line right now is my favorite, second to Marvel Legends. I mean, I just opened up the Skullbuster, and this is a perfect Marvel Legend in my opinion. But I look at this guy versus this guy, and I'm like, yeah, these guys I put these guys on the resale market in North Carolina.
Let if I could interject something that just came to mind about that, at least the Overwatch figures, like I know they can reskin them to death, but at least like figures like Reinhardt there is not something they could easily make into another character. Where your Marvel Legends, they've been selling you the same action figure for like 13 or 15 years or whatever.
I'm aware of this. I said right now, that's why I said the Lightning line is my favorite line.
I gotcha.
I think that's the thing, though, is like all three lines. Jay, you look like a librarian like that. All three lines, really, they're kind of designed with repaints in mind. And we actually have a topic towards the end of the show. I want to save that thought on. So is that it for you, Dave?
Just the one figure. Yeah, I've been catching up on my on the X-Men wave, which if you've been following my Instagram at True Star Screamer, I've been trying to photograph every box I open. So,
Dave, are you trying to protect your identity? We can only see from like here down. And there you go. There you are. Now, okay, yeah. Oh.
And now everyone knows who you are.
Amazingly, on YouTube, you can see his whole body.
But yes, if you've been following my Instagram, I've been slowly working my way through the X-Men wave, and they all photograph quite beautifully.
Very cool. Very cool. Matt, how are you doing tonight? And what did you get this week?
I am shockingly awake for a Thursday night, so I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to be energetic. I'm going to be like, overly excited to be here with you guys. So
is that because of your mango flavored water?
It is, and I didn't realize that these waters all have sayings on the side.
Yeah,
can't beat these bubbles. So there's your words of fucking wisdom for the evening. Beyond that, what did I get this week? I got compliments of Mr. Joe Crab. One of my favorite figures that I've picked up this year so far.
Oh.
And it is the Light of Freedom metallic version Optimus Prime.
That's looking pretty.
And he is quite nice. He looks beautiful. The paint is subtle and very well done. I did note there are some paint apps missing that's on the other version, but I feel like it might be intentional, so I'm not sure what the deal is there, but it's nothing that would bother me personally. So
toy accuracy?
I think they're going for toon accuracy with this guy. I say that because the original version had his forearm arrows painted yellow, where this one does not. So again, that's nothing that I even noticed until someone pointed that out. So it's not a big deal to me.
What about his skirts? Are they painted or are they the clear plastic translucent?
They are clear, translucent, orangey gold.
So that's the same.
Like amber.
Yeah.
So he transforms beautifully. Like I've seen the transformation on reviews before, like T-Man, and once getting it in hand, it's smooth, it's intuitive, it's easy to do, and it's just when you stand, like I had it at my desk at work, people couldn't believe that it actually transformed. They thought it was a statue. So something to be said about that.
What was the damage on that?
I think it ran 115.
That's not bad.
Which is not bad. I think it's a few bucks cheaper than the regular release, and I'm guessing they'll probably do it in every color in the rainbow.
Are you still getting an MP44?
Yes, I am still getting MP44.
Going from no primes to 3 primes.
No primes to 3 primes.
That thing costs less than Black Arachnia.
And it's worth it. And I'll tell you too, though, the only thing that I am concerned about is, like, I've transformed the crap out of this guy since I got him all week. I mean, I've probably transformed him 15 or 16 times. I am worried about the longevity of some of the joints because it's not worryingly loose on some, especially the ankles. But I could see over time. So we'll see how that goes. But besides that, like the face sculpt is dead on. The face sculpt is from my taste in Optimus Prime. That's the face sculpt I want. So that was that. And then this is not really an action figure at all because it's a fucking t-shirt. But I got from the Yeti.com, if anybody knows. We're going to go back. We're going to go Super Nintendo era to my favorite video game of all time. I've probably said on this show before. I don't know. But y'all probably heard me talk about it. I got a Chrono Trigger shirt from the Yeti. Right. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, that's the Kingdom of Zeal, a floating island that spoiler alert, gets destroyed and crashes back down to Earth.
Ah,
So-
come on, man. Spoilers.
and
Yeah, you only-
Next thing you're
30
gonna
years
tell me
to
the
play.
plate drops in.
what's that?
Never mind. I was about to make a Final Fantasy VII spoiler, but I realized there are people who actually probably haven't played Final Fantasy VII, and since the remake's coming out,
Man, that remake I got some feelings about too. We'll have that as a topic one day soon too, or have a B-side about it. But that wraps up what I got. Like Chrono Trigger stuff is few and far between. Please, Figuart, somebody pull out that old license and make me some figures, please.
Or well, even with like Square, they have Play Arts Kai.
Play Arts Guy, I don't care. Some
Yeah.
line, pick them up, man. I
if
will
they
buy
can
them
make
all.
if they can make those Dragonfire game figures, they
Uh,
can make a Chrono Trigger one.
Dragon Quest, you mean?
Dragon
Quest,
yeah. Like I'm famously cheap on this show or in real life. You will see me drop like stupid money to get all those figures, special editions, regular editions. I don't give a shit. I'm done.
All right, Joe, I know you got something really awesome, but first and foremost, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing swell. Doing pretty good. It started off not so good because my alcohol supply is like bone dry. I had nothing. Until I remembered that I had this shit, the Lagavulin.
It's good.
Dude,
Just
I'm
doing on the
sorry.
rocks?
I might. No, I'm putting Pepsi in it. You might as well be drinking turpentine. If I go blind at all during the show, we know why.
Is that why your glasses were on your lips like 5 minutes ago?
It might be. I'm already going a little cross-eyed.
It tastes like burning wood. Is that what it, right?
Yeah, it's like burning. Yeah, it's like burning wood. That happened to be soaked
campfire.
in. Like,
yeah, it's like a campfire.
When have you ever had a burn?
if said campfire was sitting next to a chemical plant, maybe.
Have any of you guys ever had mamajuana?
Mm-mm.
It's like this. I don't know if it's a root. It's some sort of plant. But when I went to the Dominican, they gave it to us, and you put your rum in it, and it gave the rum. It was supposed to give the rum like a spiced taste, but it just made it taste like burnt wood. And that's like
I think I may have heard of that. Mama Guana or Mama Juana.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I had.
my buddy Garrett, you guys know as Thor. When we got to the resort, they're like, "You want Mama Juana? It's complimentary." And he's like, he works for the government. And he's like, "Oh, I don't think I could do that."
Well, as for what I got this week, via trade plus cash considerations, I got an Astrobot finally,
Yeah.
thanks to Mr. Parts Former. And it was part of the Magic Square Prime deal. And let's see, what's today's episode called? Bigger Kaijus. I got a few Kaijus. Stand, bitch.
Hey, do you got
Follow.
batteries for that Astrobot?
It's already in them. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
good to go.
Yeah.
I don't sell no toys with no batteries.
It's not-
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm the battery man.
Well, now.
Oh
Oh yeah, it is working. I was gonna say, man, I better have a warranty on this thing. Let's send it back. So I got the SH Monster Arts. This is the in Japanese, it's like light sound action. It's like Kiyu, Kairu, whatever version of Godzilla 1989. He makes all kinds of nice noises. He plays music. If you can hear that, I don't think you can.
That's the sort of music when your kids want something and you want it, and you got to deny them.
Yes. Actually, that soundtrack's playing quite a bit in my house. I got the original 1954 Godzilla Monster Arts.
He's given a look like that's a penis.
I love his wonky. Look at that. I love his wonky.
And he's
eye.
not ready for that penis. He's not ready at all.
He's not ready at all.
That looks nothing like. That looks like he's staring at a picture of somebody with gum on their finger.
Steve Brent writes, "I'm sweating like R. Kelly at a middle school dance." I don't know if that has to do with the heat or the Godzilla stare.
We're gonna
Oh,
say
man.
Godzilla.
Yeah. Let's not share that picture.
Oh,
And I got another bot here that is like the exact opposite of Dave's.
I like how the music's still going.
Is it still going? I can't even hear it through my headset.
It is. We can hear it clear as day.
There we go. I got TFC Toys, Sergeant
Hi.
Commander, Jungle,
Are
version.
Oh,
those
my
the
God.
penises?
And I
they
say
want
this
to
is
tear
the
down?
exact opposite because that's where they are right there. Yeah, two of them, double barrel, baby.
I might want that.
Because this guy is solid as all get out. He's no loose joints, super strong ratchets. The original version I was in love with. This one's even more. I kind of had a feeling this one I was going to leave in alt mode a lot, just because I love that like military truck, with all the arsenal on it. But the bot mode on this thing is just amazing.
I think it's awesome that they went back and redid the paint job. Because originally he was just going to be green, and I thought that looked cool. But yeah,
That's sexy. That is.
It's an amazing piece. The way that they did the blue, like they changed the blue to like a muted blue.
yeah.
It's just it's.
I like the paint
If
on
they-
the gun arms. Like it's like chrome, but it's been dry brushed, so it looks like
Weather.
and the
the weathering.
the die cast weapons. They're like a darker. I don't know if you want to call it like pewter. I don't know if you can see. But they're a darker color than the other ones. So they redid a lot. They could have just put all the same accessories in the box, but they actually refinished a lot of these.
It does not look like a cash grab.
No, and I'll tell you what, if they do like who shared that picture of the Ultra Magnus repaint?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
If they come out with that, I'm on it. They could do a black one, I'm on it.
They've done them as
whatever color of the
steel
rainbow,
core.
I'll buy it.
Well, if you want whatever color of the rainbow, somebody did a mock-up of Thunder Clash, and it looked fucking awesome.
I did see that one.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen that.
yeah, he's every color.
I also
Yeah.
got
I'm still waiting for you
some
to
of
do a
these
picture
flame
of the.
effects. I got these came from AliExpress. They were real cheap. They're not the Tamashi brand. They're KO, but they look the part.
I want to let those air out outside for a day.
Would they run you? 'Cause
Between
that's
this,
really good.
between this and what I'm drinking, I'm
He's gonna
I'll
be
be-
blind.
I'm gonna be brain dead by the end of this episode. Someone had a question there, but
I was just curious. I was curious if you wanted to tell us how much those flame effects ran.
they were $13-$14.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, shit.
I've got a set of those. They also do a really cool black purple flame effect too that I have. I don't use them enough for my photos, but they're
You'll need to
really
drop
good
some
looking.
links because I need some effect pieces.
I think the KO ones, these ones here, are actually they do more color versions of these than the official does. They got like purple, they've got a red, they've got a blue. This is like the yellow, looks more realistic fire, I think. And they've got like a black one with some kind of weird color, like black and red almost, I think.
Yeah, drop that link, man. I need it. I need a set.
If my Google Chrome will like give a fuck, I will try to put that link in there. Because earlier it was just like, I'm out. I think I'm on T-Man internet here.
I'm still waiting for you to do a picture of that the two primes, except giving them an armor swap. So red primes wearing camo armor and vice versa.
Must be
do
Christmas.
Yeah, I could do that. I guess it.
Is
that it? I think it is. Oh no! Wait a minute! I can't forget the most important.
Wait, there's something more important?
Just for T-Man, because
he's finished chewing his gum. Look out!
I know he loves these. I got the Jaws pops. Look at them bad boys. Gonna need a bigger boat.
Shelf.
Yeah.
So wait, they made like the supporting cast of Jaws, but they didn't make Jaws.
They did make Jaws, and you know what? I bought two of them. I was totally going to buy one for myself, but both of my kids wanted the shark. So I bought them each a shark, and then I was like, I'm not going to drop another. I think Hot Topic had a sale, so they were like a little less than $20. But I was like, I'm not buying another one. So very easily could have walked out of there with 3 sharks. Hey, I was in Jaws. My name's Richard Dreyfuss.
They need to make What About Bob pops.
A what?
What
about Bob? That's like my buddy Craig did like the most iconic line. He made it the most iconic. Where's my slicker? Anytime it would rain, he'd say that. Anyway, you know him, you love him, we hope. And you've probably clicked on some of his videos. I know he had a premiere this evening. T-Man 970, how are you doing? And what did you get this week?
Fucking tired. Y'all lucky I was here. But I've been nodding out like a junkie all night. And the only thing that I got this week, or since the last time, is Super Boo here. And now my screen is acting up, so.
We see you just fine.
Yay. He's fun, he's awesome, no matter which pose you put him in. Looks good. And I love him.
He's worth it, isn't he?
Figure a year. Maybe. Yes, he's worth it.
Well, we're a little bit less than halfway through the year. So
Yeah.
With the year that MP44 is coming out.
MP44 yet.
MP44, Vehicle Voltron, Black Arachnia. I mean, I think at the when we hit the midway mark of the year, we're gonna have to do what is our figure of the year so far, because
I can
it's already been
predict that Black Arachnia is not going to be figure of the year.
I mean, you never know. So far,
I think she's going to be. Okay, I got her. Yay!
You might be overly enticed by a set of robo boobs. You never know.
Yeah.
We're not talking about
when
nights.
does Nicey come out?
I don't think we have a release date yet.
Yeah, I think they just said ETA third quarter 2019
When they fucking feel like it.
when they fucking feel like. All right.
Zero, how are you? this
Oh,
evening?
okay. Oh, I didn't have to do that. How are you doing, Zero? I am doing. I'm hanging in there. It's been another on-call week for me. So it's been a little rough work-wise, but I'm making do. We're almost to Friday. I'm looking forward to getting through the week so I can go see Godzilla next week.
Godzilla.
Spoiler: a monster punches another monster.
Right.
In
Well,
the jump?
Get the
I think
fuck out of here.
I think it's so crazy too. I was talking to Lex earlier, and I was like, what's crazy about this movie is the reviews.
All
Some
over
of the
the
critics.
Shoot.
Well, they're all over the place because people are saying there's not enough humans, and it's like, get the fuck out of here. Like the last Godzilla movie, I liked the cast that they had in it, but it's like I wanted to see kaiju on kaiju action. I didn't want to see like Bryan Cranston dies in the first quarter, and then it's like the dude that played Kick-Ass and Elizabeth Olsen, which was also weird because we came off Age of Ultron, and like they're in there kissing each other. Then you see him as that makes sense.
You guys think they're gonna have those moments?
They
in
were
the movie
Scarlet
where,
Witch and Quicksilver.
think they're gonna have a moment where Godzilla just jumps up and be like, "Ah, yeah," and start doing stupid Japanese stuff.
If that happened, and Ken Watanabe comes in, he goes, "Let him dance." I'd be okay with that.
Well,
That
from
is
what I've
not
heard,
funny.
people, the diehard, kaiju film fanatics that just want to go and enjoy, be entertained and a popcorn flick, they love it.
Yeah,
All those people love it. It's like if you critique this movie like, it's freaking Shawshank Redemption, then maybe you can't do that. You can't compare.
I mean, it's like the first Pacific Rim. It was like a movie that delivered on its promises to the audience.
Yep.
That's all I want. It's certain movies I want it to be a well thought out cerebral experience, or have
Not
parts.
giant rubbery monsters punching each other in the face.
Exactly. So, looking forward to wrapping this week up, so I can go see that movie, and Lex and I can go do a Buffalo Wild Wings date, and have our little break from our diet. Been dieting and exercising like crazy, trying to get ready for the beach. And as for what I got, courtesy of Agavis, I got the X-Transbots Death Wish. I said Death Wish. When you're dieting, I think a bad sandwich is a Death Wish. So yeah, he's X-Transbots take on
Leave it to
Breakdown,
professionals.
or not Breakdown, on Dead End, and he is pretty awesome. He's got some weird tolerances. I was talking to a good buddy Deluxe earlier, and he's got like the fan. You can hear it. The fan's toy squeaks going on.
Same company confirmed.
Right. But he's good quality. Like the Wild Rider, he's got some really good paint apps. Unfortunately, #0luck strikes again, as mine did not include the wing mirrors. They just left that out. But Hanny's a good dude. I reached out to him, and he's gonna source me a pair of wing mirrors. But it doesn't matter. You can't see them in robot mode. They're optional parts. So by the time their drag strip and Motormaster come out, and I can actually complete the combiner, I'll have those wing mirrors, so it's no biggie.
You have the packaging handy?
Yeah, I do.
I thought it's funny watching Deluxe's video.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of space for the bio, but they didn't put a bio in.
So what's interesting is it says Death Wish, function, Berserkar Warrior. None can destroy iron, but its own rust can. And it says, I shit you not, where the bio should be, it says, what's the point?
And I respect that.
He didn't tell me that.
Yeah, so yeah, it's very short and there's a lot of wasted space. But yeah, he's pretty nifty. And I did get one more thing, and similar to Joe, it is a repaint of a figure that I already have but love. And this is the Nemesis Gorira, which is Perfect Effects' take on the Throne of the Primes Optimus Primal that came out last year. He's pretty neat. He's pretty striking in person. I didn't expect him to use like this glossy plastic. I wish he had an alternate head after getting their Cryotech repaint that came with a bunch of option parts. He came with not only an alternate head for the Dragon mode, but he came with an alternate faceplate from Megatron. I wish he had like just something to really differentiate himself. But he's got the masked face that the Gorira Prime had, and that's it. He's like very, very cookie cutter in terms of repaints. I mean, it's all done well. There's a lot of nice accent details, like these reds. All the reds are metallic. Interestingly, they gave him a red spark crystal. So it's interesting, but he looks great on a shelf. And I've had him actually in one of my detolfs with this guy. So they actually look really nice together. Alternative Optimus Primals.
Now, do you think that you?
Go
ahead. I was going to say, do you think that you actually have this, like, it's a real thing, the Zero Luck, or is it just because you buy probably a lot more than all of us that you just like the odds are you're gonna get more defects? Well,
I've actually said that the odds are against me because I've got a lot of third-party figures, and it's interesting. I typically don't have too many QC issues with X-Trans bots. It's very rare, and honestly, I'll take a missing part. Like it's just a little baggie with 2 rubber wing view mirrors in there, and I searched time. I was like, maybe I dropped them. Because the last time I've actually had a QC issue with an X-Transbots figure was their twin cast. Mine just came with a bum foot. And before that, it was like their Ollie. But I think, yeah, if you buy a lot of third-party stuff, you're going to have to deal with a higher percentage of QC issues. Yeah. It's just kind of crazy that it's like when I did the math, it's like 1 out of every 5 figures I get seems to have some sort of noteworthy issue where I have to contact the seller, and I always feel bad because I'm like, hey, it's me again. Because this is like my second time with Hanny this year. I've had to go to him twice because I had One of the aerial bots, I want to say it was... Shit, I forget which one it was. One of the Zeta ones, the landing gear was bent and it wouldn't go into the nose cone. So we had to replace that figure. With Toy Dojo, I had to get the shield replaced on my Fans Hobby Double Evil. Because mine came all scuffed up out of the box. Then also with Toy Dojo, I had to get... I did have another X-Transbots QC issue because the TFCon... the G2 breakdown, mine had a paint defect on the spoiler. So yeah, it's every now and then I get it and I'm like, hey, it's me again. When I dealt with GCI, he was constantly getting me parts. Every damn fans toys figure I buy, it seems to have like one issue. So
damn.
Yeah,
talk bad about fans toys.
I know, you get lynched for that. So let's get into some news. I think you guys are probably excited for this, and we actually had a discussion earlier today about, getting out to stores. But Siege Wave 3 has been cited in the U.S., at least the Deluxes and the Leader Prime. And it looks like the
So Leader Prime was Wave 2.
Is he Wave 2?
Yeah, because they haven't had any other leaders besides Shockwave and Ultra Magnus.
Right. That's a fair point. I always thought waves were okay. So like wave two leaders. So here we've got 2 refractors, Blunt or is it Blunt or Brunt?
Brunt.
I doubt they'd call him Blunt. 2019, and we've got Red Alert, all found in Walmart. And
what were the Wave 2? Oh, yeah, the Wave 2 were 6-gun and Ironhide, right?
Say where they found these.
That's kind of sad that the refractors only put 2 when you need 3.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of those deals where it's
Has that been confirmed?
That it's 2 per case?
Yeah.
It looks like it's only been a soft confirmation, and of course somebody managed to get Springer and Thundercracker.
It's a fine looking Springer, that's for sure.
Yeah, you look like he has die-cast. His shoulders look like die-cast is behind it. I know it's not, but the way it's painted.
Yeah.
But I saw
Did they completely abandon? Did they abandon the wear, the battle damage on Springer?
No, hell no.
He looks really. Oh no, okay, I see it there. I was gonna say he looks really bright and clean and shiny on those other pictures, but
and he's even got it on his chest a bit. You can see some of the beige.
The color on those pictures are a little bit like I don't know, bleeding.
Yeah, they seem like they're pumped up.
Yeah.
What's incredible to me is that they managed to get his feet to be the correct color. They didn't have to use his feet to make any of the parts of the fender. And I think he pulls off all 3 modes better than even some of the third parties are doing.
My only complaint that I see in that robot mode is the weird notches in the middle of his ankle pivot.
The only thing I'm wondering about his robot mode is, and it looks like he does, but it's not. Well, it's kind of hard to say whether he has wrist rotation or not. I mean, it looks like he does here. Like that wrist is slightly rotated over.
Yeah, and it looks circular at the base of the wrist in the far hand.
Yeah,
I think he does. I'm gonna say confirmed, even though I have no idea.
He's also got the little vent right there.
See that pin on his waist? Maybe he has ab crotch. I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, if it does, it probably folds the other way.
Yeah.
Reverse ab crunch.
So what do you think? They're going to remold that to Sandstorm?
I don't think
Indubitably.
so. I don't think they'll remold it in the Sandstorm. I think that they'll probably do something a little bit different.
I'm just going to say, I loved the previous Springer and Sandstorm. Those were still two of my favorite Hasbro figures.
Yeah. So Wave 3 was found in Dayton, Ohio, which is kind of the middle of the U.S. in a Walmart. So it'd be interesting to see when this stuff starts hitting soon. I know there's a date of, I believe, July 1st for the leader, Optimus Prime. So I would imagine towards the end of June, early July, we'll start seeing these guys basically everywhere.
July 17th is the official date that Amazon has.
But it's kind of interesting. Like Wave 1 and Wave 2, there kind of wasn't too much of a break. These things kind of showed up, and then it seemed like, a month and a half went by, and we started getting Wave 2. It's been kind of interesting to see that, going from Wave 2 to Wave 3, Hasbro's kind of like simmered down quite a bit.
Yeah, it would just be weird if, that Prime got released early on shelves.
You're right. Yeah. And a certain chill reviewer managed to get one.
He broke into the box. Couldn't wait.
All right. I'm looking at my comments, and I see I have to block this dude. It's just a second negative comment he left on one of my videos. But
if you ignore them, they will go away.
Or if I block them, they'll go away.
Yeah, there you go.
Permanently.
Let me guess. It was probably something so insightful like, why did your review suck so much?
Yeah, close.
Yeah. Was it?
It's entertaining how bad it was.
So next up, we got some interesting news from Takara. And this has to do with a figure. Yeah, Takara. Masterpiece related news. This has to do with a figure that I'm actually surprised is getting a reissue, and that is MP13. And I'm surprised it's getting a reissue because Takara's been on their streak of doing plus versions of characters. And
That's
seems
perfection.
Well,
pretty much they got it right the first time.
I've seen a couple mock-ups where folks have done like their own version of a plus version of Soundwave, with the corrected oh man, I cannot talk today. With a corrected Decepticon symbol, with the white accent details, with the.
It seemed like it'd be an easy one to do the plus with the pretty much all the silver, make it white, right? And bring that picture back up.
Yeah, let me go back.
Actually, I can just look behind me. But his buttons are white in the tune, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, all the silver make it white.
So not only would the buttons be white, he would have a red painted visor. He would have yellow details here. He would have a tune symbol. The forearms, the thighs would all be white. He wouldn't have the blue outlining on the shins. It would all be white. So I think it's interesting that they're doing a straight reissue when if they did a plus version, those who missed out on him the first time could not only get him, but they could also get that double dip on the market. So it's interesting to me.
You would make clearly a terrible executive, because why do that when you can re-release this, sell it to everybody, and then a year from now you can do a plus and sell it to all those people again?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
That's kind of what I'm afraid is going to happen. Exactly.
I think it's going to happen, but I would just kind of prefer them do it now. I think what would make more sense. It's a fantastic figure, but he's missing, some of the articulation. And we've kind of talked on this on the show a bit, where for Masterpiece, there's new norms in articulation when it comes to hands, when it comes to ab crunch, when it comes to the way, thigh rotation. In the Soundwave, he doesn't have like the most intuitive or really well-designed hips.
For me, the only thing that I want on him is the ability to rock his foot forward. Like if it had that, I wouldn't have any other problem. Like I could live with him not even having that prints.
Yeah,
I've been able to put his legs into different poses, his hips that actually look good, but I can't get him to stand well because of the feet not being able to rock forward.
Yeah. Another thing I'd like to see them do in a reissue is give him magnetic parts. And I say that because the cassette tapes, like perching Laserbeak on him, kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that for every figure that's purchased.
And I will either agree or disagree when that thing comes in that I pre-ordered.
Oh, that's right. You don't have him yet.
I don't have him yet.
I have the KO, which is supposedly very close to the original, but yeah, that Laserbeak doesn't stay on him for shit.
Yeah, no, it doesn't stay on the official very well. And
Mine's been sitting on his my Laserbeak's been sitting on his shoulder now for 4 years.
Shitting on his shoulder for 4 years?
He is a condor.
That's true. Yeah, because I had the Hasbro one. I got rid of it because I hate yellow visors on Soundwave. Let me just be perfectly clear about that. I think Soundwave should always have a red visor.
If only there was like a device that could like transfer color from a liquid form to apply to another surface, so you don't have to like buy something that costs.
That's crazy. How would you apply
homemade.
that magical liquid? That doesn't exist.
With a brush?
A what?
Could you do that with a brush? I don't modify my figures outside of repro labels because I like to always have money in the banana stand, you know. I don't like to modify my figures because I don't think that in the event that I had to sell them, I don't want to be like, hey, this is a custom, and then that.
Can you take $50 off?
Yes, because that like that's the thing when you're looking to sell stuff, you get your hagglers. That's the
Hasbro one also came with all the tapes.
Yeah,
and still cost less than the Takara one.
And the beautiful thing is when I sold my Hasbro one, I sold it with just Laserbeak, and it sold very easily. And I kept the additional tapes, so Soundwave and Sound Blaster both have a complete set of tapes. Well, save for one Laserbeak. I don't have a Laserbeak for my Sound Blaster, but
before we leave off of Soundwave, if a third party still wanted to make Soundwave, in the cartoon he was a lot more bulky than the actual masterpiece is. So I think they could go that route with beefing him up. And of course making the arms and legs white and whatnot.
Can do that.
And we lost our host. Anybody got the notes up?
I've been trying to keep the notes up with freaking Chrome, man. It's just like I thought it was maybe the Google Keep extension that I use. Closed it, uninstalled it, and my Chrome is just like it's up for 30 seconds, and it just says "Oh snap!" and it's gone.
You guys and Reinhardt,
I got
can't do it.
But I got the notes up. I can move on.
Floor polish.
Does anybody have any Soundwave
There's
related
no place to
comments?
put floor polish properly in this guy.
I'm still here. I had to run to
Is
the
anybody
restroom. I
getting
thought you'd have.
The MA, I think isn't it MAS Soundwave?
MAS?
The big posable statue-like thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Massive thing.
What does that stand for? Is it Massive Action Series?
Mega
Action Series.
Mega Action. Yeah.
I want
Make
him.
America something.
Soundwave.
That mass series is like the quarter-inch style NECA stuff. I can see the appeal, but man, I got no place for that. You got to be like a bachelor for that.
I have both the Optimus and the Megatron. What are you trying to say?
You were a bachelor when you got it.
He's got a point there.
That's true. I want that Soundwave.
To be honest.
Oh, really?
Look at
Ain't
it this
no
way:
rings on there.
you don't have to worry about kids because they're the size of a small child.
I want that sound wave, and I love the fact that it's got a transformable laser beak in it, but I have to put, it's like one of those things where it's like, I got the Optimus, I got the Megatron, I have to put, I have to put a stop to it somewhere, and I think having that is enough.
Till their Devastator comes out.
You gotta have sound wave. It has a transforming laser beam.
Yeah, but then I've got like these gigantic Transformers that just, it's...
You got to take a picture of them like in like mid pose, like on Christmas Day, like as if they're running to the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Why else did
I
you buy
would
that huge house
finance
if not
that.
to fit that line of toys?
Yeah.
I would finance that photo shoot. By the way, how cool would that be?
And what I did with my Optimus and my Megatron was I have like the half with Billies. No, I don't have them kissing, but I have them on the half with Billies where they're like on, like I have spotlight shelves for Optimus and Megatron, and they're at the bottom, and it ties the room together.
They're robots, not an area rug.
I mean, same difference, right?
What?
All right. So,
I was trying to offer you a segue quarter NECA Turtles.
Yeah, man, those are some of the most impressive figures I've ever seen. Like,
are they even on the dock?
The quarter scale NECA Turtles.
Oh, we talked about that. We talked about the NECA shredders and last week.
Joe's like, they're not on the dock. You can't talk about it.
There is some NECA stuff.
I was drunk last week. I don't remember like half of what we talked about.
There is some NECA stuff on the dock, but I'm trying to save that for last. I actually want to go into a discussion about NECA. We'll continue on the topic of robots, and so the Die Rugger, we all know him as Vehicle Voltron. There's some new shots. There were some disappointing shots, but there's some new shots, and I think he's looking pretty damn awesome.
Much better.
So I know pre-orders for this guy still haven't gone up yet, as
June
far
3rd.
as I can tell. June 3rd is when they go up.
Probably at midnight-ish or 2 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah, when Amazon Japan puts it up, I got to. I absolutely have to.
It looks amazing.
And a point of contention was the fists in robot mode. And I know, like at least I saw a lot of folks talking to that. If you can click the first picture for me, with him combined.
Yeah.
So those are the vehicle fists. It
right.
looks like, and then it swaps out to actual articulated hands. So there you go.
Well, so what a lot of people don't know about Soul Chigokin is that most Soul Chigokin transforming figures come with 2 sets of hands. They come with what they call perfect transformation hands, and then they come with the articulated hands. And the Gal Gar, he comes with 2 sets, one for the Lion Robot and one for Gal Gar. One, where the Lion can do perfect transformation, and then for Gal Gar, because Gal Gar actually has this really cool gimmick that they baked in, and when you put his fists through the onto the line, like he has like these turbines. When you put them on the line, they actually rotate out, like they spin, like they do in the anime. But then you can actually pop those off the ball joint and give them the articulated hands, and they're actually to scale. Whereas the perfect transformation ones are kind of like tiny, little like masterpiece style hands. So there's always a lot of thought that goes into Soul Chigokins. Another one was the Dragon Zord. The Dragon Zord has perfect transformation hands, and then it has like posed hands. The Megazord wasn't as fortunate. The Megazord just has 1 pair of hands, but they're functional.
The Megazord never really did anything except hold a sword and punch.
And the stupid Mastodon shield. I got to give mine the floor polish treatment because the arms are getting loose. But
he's
so
looking better than he did for sure. The Vehicle Voltron. I think they're pricing him at what, $320. So
Amazon Japan prices, I'm willing to bet he's going to be $225.
Really?
I'm willing to bet. I mean, am I more often right on my Amazon Japan predictions?
I heard he was $500.
No.
Here,
I'll sell you mine for $500.
Somebody told me it's $500. I was like, hell.
Not gonna be $500. And then it's just like all the people that are saying that MP44 is $500. If you're buying them for $450, I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong.
It's your own fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would say that I know in Japan, Dairugger and Go Lion were two entirely separate television shows.
Yeah,
but that's gonna look really good doing back to back with Lion Voltron.
Fleet of Doom. You gotta have some Fleet of Doom.
Well, that was my big question: is do you guys have any attachment to Vehicle Voltron? Are you getting it? Okay.
I don't.
Some, very little.
But it looks amazing.
I always thought that Vehicle Voltron was actually a better show back in the day.
For
the
me,
next sound you hear is going to be Dave booted from the conversation. 2.
So
I hated those episodes.
I liked them, and I'll tell you why. And it was when I was a kid.
When they blew up the fucking planet.
To story time. When I was a kid, I like Vehicle Voltron. Obviously, was not as popular as regular Voltron, but the show was on, and it was current, and the toys weren't selling too well. But at Lionel Kitty City, they were cheap because people weren't buying them. You guys remember Lionel Kitty City?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It was a cool toy store.
If I've ever been there.
It was a really cool toy store in its day, and like the thing that I remember the most about it was they had an entire aisle that was Ninja Turtles. Like it was just, I mean, it kind of speaks for like the way action figures used to be in their popularity, but. Like I just remember going to this one aisle and like from start to finish on one side it was nothing but Ninja Turtle stuff, and it was really awesome. But they had like the new Masters of the Universe, and they had the Vehicle Voltron stuff, RoboCop, all that stuff that that was like on clearance, but at the time I thought was awesome. So I had a connection to Vehicle Voltron just because it was like the Voltron I had. So it was like, yeah, I got the whole thing. Oh, it's on TV. So that was that
was ingrained in your brain.
In the hospital. When I was younger, I was in the hospital, and one of my aunts bought me like drugstore Vehicle Voltron.
Oh, the rubber one.
It was like this tall.
Yeah, I had him.
It was fun, but it had like zero articulation.
I always liked Vehicle Voltron because I thought it had better playability as a toy, because you had the 15 toys. It was 15 toys first of all, as opposed to just 5, and then they could combine into their land cruiser, sea submarine, and jet Stratocaster, which I thought was pretty neat.
Did it have knees?
The original one. I don't think so, but it had little high the heels. What?
Yeah, we lose right there. Right there, you lose me.
This is 1984. No toys had knees.
Lion Voltron did. It had hips and knees.
To say the Macross stuff.
I'm trying to say why I like this thing, man, and you're knocking down for that. Dude, never mind.
It's like, it was fun. I'll give you that.
I want to go back to 1984. I want to take an Astrobot on a string, and I want to go to a young Dave Letwack and toss the Astrobot and just like let him touch it, and then just.
What? Forgive me. I thought it. I actually said I thought it was a better show. Like it actually had consequences. There was one episode where they blew up a planet, where the bad guys blew up a planet just so the good guys couldn't have it. The villains actually did more stuff as opposed to just running away for the day.
Can we really say it was a better show than Voltron: The Third Dimension?
How many episodes did it go, Dave? Vehicle ish.
Both shows were I want to say were about 30 episodes. I want to say 25, 30 episodes.
Okay.
I mean, each was a season. They never did the third season of Voltron, which was supposed to be based off of another Japanese show called Albagas.
I was just about to ask you about that. If anybody knew Voltron 2.
Yeah, technically, Vehicle Voltron was Voltron, and the Lion was actually Voltron 3, if I remember.
Yep, you're right.
Because
and
I actually know my Voltrons, bitches.
That's one thing I hated. I was like, why are both of them called Voltron? Like, it was so confusing.
Because they were trying to because they were trying to copy off the same thing that happened with Robotech, of taking different series, patching them together, and making them into a larger series.
And Power Rangers.
Well, that's Power Rangers was emulating that formula,
which was
15 years later. Power Rangers is like much further down the line.
Yeah, the cutting together of the series, you can tell big time, especially in the first episode of Voltron, when Planet Aris goes from you see destruction happening and it's skyscrapers, it looks like New York, and then all of a sudden the townspeople, it's like friggin' Greek, architecture. You could just tell that they spliced different shows together, and it's kind of ridiculous after the fact once you know the secret.
Back in those days, they did with there was another one that was nowhere near as popular, but actually kind of cool, called Macron 1. That was 2 shows that did that, and then Saber Rider
wasn't the original Power Rangers the same thing? They spliced 2 completely different things together.
Actually, if you want to go back to the Power Ranger stuff, with the Power Rangers show, season 1 was one show called Zoo Ranger, ZYU, and then they made the second season, which was Die Ranger, but then they took all the footage of the Die Ranger Rangers, which were totally different costumes, and actually integrated the Zoo Ranger costumes into it. That's why the White Ranger uniform is so different than the dino themed guys.
I didn't learn that till last year or 2 years ago.
I learned it.
Dude, that's old school geek knowledge.
I didn't know there was Jew Rangers. Had no clue.
ZYU. Anyway, and then the third season, which was with the Ninja Zord, that was Haruka Ranger, which is the Ranger costumes were actually ninjas, which, believe it or not, was actually what the Alien Rangers were. I am a dork about all this stuff, and I don't know how I know it all, but I do.
I mean, you've been in the Kamen Rider for how long?
I got into Kamen Rider probably about 6 years ago. I just absorb information. That's what I do.
I learned something today. I was watching Region Locked, and I didn't know that the guy that was the Sega Saturn mascot was he's well known in Japan because he was the original Kamen Rider.
He was the original Kamen Rider, and he was also Space Sheriff Gavon, which was the Gavon series was brought to the U.S. as VR Troopers.
Oh, I remember that, and that ridiculous theme song that gets stuck in your head.
So what's funny? It's kind of an off topic, but it's people that were in things. I saw John Wick 3 last week. Lex
no spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. But there's a character in there, and he's I'm not going to spoil anything, but he's a rival to John Wick. And Lex goes, "I think that's the guy from Iron Chef, the chairman from Iron Chef."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was very thrilled. He is one of my favorite underrated martial artists.
Yeah.
Mark DaCosta. Yeah. Okay.
By the way, Matt, I think we made the wrong decision last weekend.
Iron Chef related?
No. To go see John Wick 3. We should have gone and seen that.
Well, let's put it to the panel here real quick. We had the option of watching John Wick 3 or staying and ordering food, smoking cigars, and drinking beer. What say you people?
I'd say go see John Wick and then do that afterwards.
Yeah.
Time is limited.
Time was limited.
I couldn't even
Okay,
go
you
over
watch
there.
John Wick. You watch John Wick. You fork out the cigars and you just drink beer and talk about John Wick.
Well, I couldn't even go over his place till what was it, 5 o'clock? So it was late starting the day.
What you guys should have done was pulled like a Cape Fear and drank and smoked the cigars in the movie theater to piss somebody off.
Oh, we could have pretended it was
There we go.
1980 and just did all that right there in the theater.
Sirs.
Bring me a Jack and Coke. Stop talking.
Just laugh really loud. So
I'm glad to hear though he's in that movie. I'm glad to hear though that he's in that movie because, as I said, he is one of my favorite. He's just in so much stuff that's gone under the radar.
He and Halle Berry were easily my favorite parts of the movie. Like, no spoilers, but I just want to say that if they do decide to do a spin-off of John Wick and they do it with Simone, I want to see that movie. So
she's actually good at that because do you see the second Kingsman movie?
Not yet. I need to see that. You know,
she plays a character that could also be spun off under her own.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day because, like, I was like, man, I missed the Kingsman Part 2, and oh my God, the actor that plays Eggsy, he's in Rocket Man. I want to see Rocket Man, and I'm like, yeah, it's crazy to think the kid from Kingsman is playing Elton John. He looks so different. And Lex goes, "What's the Kingsman?"
Well, actually, here's the thing. In Kingsman 2, this isn't a spoiler because it's like blatant in the very beginning. The bad guy had kidnapped Elton John.
Oh, no shit.
And so that's where those two cross. That's where they cross paths. Where the actor Egerton and Elton John cross paths, and pretty much they bonded when filming that movie.
Oh, no shit. Yeah.
In the comments, it says that White Marsh has a full bar. White Marsh movie theater.
That doesn't handle the cigar problem.
Yeah, the one we go to has a little mini bar, but they have a weird time. Like, they don't serve alcohol until some stupid time.
It's kind of better to just go to like one of the many bars in the Avenue. Also, very happy birthday to Sportimus. Everybody in the chat, make sure to wish Sportimus a happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Good job.
But to go full circle on the topic, are you guys in on this SOC Voltron? Vehicle Voltron?
Maybe.
No.
If somebody gave me the money so I can pay for it.
Dave?
Yeah.
No, you'd buy something else.
So I guess it's just me and Dave on this one.
I said maybe. We'll see. I'll put it this way: if you're right about the Amazon Japan price, then yes.
I think I'm gonna be right.
Are you getting Vehicle Voltron, Lion Voltron, and MP44?
Look, don't shit on this movie, okay?
What happened to regular, Matt?
I mean, Joe's theorized for years that as I lose weight, I become evil, much like Majin Buu.
He did. He did. It was alternate reality. What was that South Park where all of a sudden, like the evil version of the evil universe, the characters started crossing over? That's what I used to say about him. It's like
everybody that was evil had a goatee.
Because he lost a bunch of weight and he grew a goatee, and I was like, fucking evil.
Yeah.
I like the Boo connection.
I mean, I just kind of look like an off-brand Will Riker, so.
Great value brand Will Riker.
Yeah, it's basically what I am.
You can pull off like a General Zod too if you wanted to.
Can you do the Riker maneuver for us right now? Can you do that?
No, I can't.
You don't have that much flexibility.
No, I do not have that flexibility.
Not with that chair.
Yeah,
that does look like a pretty high back chair.
It is. I'm actually thinking about getting like one of those PC gaming racing chairs. You know, that's what they're called. That has like more neck support.
Then like the speakers built in and vibrators.
Yeah, I don't need no vibrators. You're not catching me on that one.
Okay. What he's trying to say is all of the vibrators.
Then we'd still see him in that chair Because Alexis would be using that. Would be using it.
I actually have a massage chair in the other room.
We could build an episode around that if you wanted to. I mean,
Oh God.
put that as a topic.
So
Ride the vibe, Brady chair.
ride the vibe.
That'll be cool. Those chairs they had when we went to see Bumblebee, I like every time they punched each other, you could like feel it in the seats.
The chair just punched you in the junk like while you're sitting there. that real feedback, that force feedback in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about
Yeah.
we've talked about Kickstarters on here before. I don't think anybody on the panel is a Masters of the Universe collector.
Nope.
But I know a lot of people who are, and I think this is awesome. I think it's really cool.
More power to them.
Yeah, Super 7 has been rocking it with the their Masters of the Universe line, and the Snake Mountain is fully funded. So finally, people can have a Snake Mountain to go with their Castle Grayskull. I think it's awesome news. I know we've been talking a lot about Kickstarter successes and failures on this show. Personally, I want to see more Kickstarters be successful. I want to see more large-scale projects happen in the collecting community.
Hey, the Moss Toys Squashed Pipes came out.
Yeah, that's actually where I was gonna segue with this.
Sorry.
Actually, my buddy Tyler Fulcher got his today, and he shared some pictures. It kind of looks like trash, but
it's a stepped-on robot.
But that's the irony, right? Is it's supposed to go with your upscale chug stuff. It is an accessory that's designed to go with the MMC Overlord specifically. I mean, it's cut to his footprint. Why did they come out with that when they've been teasing the Tyrant Throne, which is the Megatron Throne, which is an unpainted throne with a port for laser beams? Why not release something that has mass appeal rather than mass appeal? I like what she does there. Than releasing the crushed version of Pipes.
Well, that logic could probably explain why they're in the position that they're in right now.
Well, that's basically
it was symbolizing all their dreams and hopes.
The chair didn't even have to be painted, did it? Did it even have any paint outs? They could have really just printed the damn thing out or molded it in the color they wanted and rolled with it.
Yeah, I want to say it was Son of the Empire actually reviewed it, and it was just kind of like the Storm Collectibles Shao Kahn chair, where it was just like a big dog toy, right? But for what it was, I was fine with it. I was like, I want that. I want to have that accessory for Megatron.
And it could go with any masterpiece size that would fit the chair. It doesn't have to be Megatron.
Oh, absolutely.
It could have been versatile among figures.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, that makes more sense.
Here's my stance. Fuck Kickstarters. Change my mind.
I'm going to say the Sail Barge, and I'm going to say Snake Mountain.
Speaking of those two, are you able to pull up I just sent a picture in our chat that I don't know if anybody's seen yet.
I was going to throw articulated icons.
I mean, those are two successful ones. I'm not interested in either one.
But right before this thing went, I guess, fully funded, I guess that must have just happened, right? The past day or so?
Actually, I believe
that's
the
picture I just shared, Matt.
With the sail barge?
Oh, no. Oh, with the sail barge? No.
Yeah, that's a size comparison. So anybody that knows the size of the sail barge, the Hasbro
I've seen that
Labs
picture.
Sail barge, someone mocked up the size of it compared to the sail barge. And I sent the picture. Hopefully you can bring it up and show you.
Yeah, let me...
This thing is absolutely massive.
I was say, and Joe, Mythic Legions, apparently, they kickstart every wave.
Yeah.
And that has been going like...
Oh, I'm not saying
going
it can't be successful. I'm just saying, like...
Well, like for Mythic Legions,
bankroll your shit yourself and put it out to market and sell it. I just get tired of seeing all these like dick teases for like these. We're going to kickstart this, and we didn't make enough funding, or
You're
and then it's
super
like
pissed about Make Toys.
Well,
Yeah.
and I wasn't even in on that, but it's just
Right,
like, you know,
right.
you see it, you know, you're scrolling through Facebook and you're on the threads and you see these, like, it's like tease after tease after tease. And it's like, here's an update, you know, it's like, great. Okay. They're communicating with people, but just make the damn thing and sell it, put it on the shelf. And if it's not successful, then
Here's
you
the
know.
thing. For example, the sail barge. That's a great example. Especially with that being 3.75-inch scale, I can totally see why they would want to go that route of going that boutique route, because that's not just pre-ordering, that's prepaying.
Yeah. Well,
And then that way they know, hey, listen, for us to make this, we need to make a certain number of them. And until
Yeah.
we guarantee that certain amount of numbers being done, we're not going to do it. We're not going to take your money. The problem with the the problem with Moss Toys is they took your money.
yeah.
That was the problem. Everything else, that Kickstarter medium, is absolutely fine. Mythic Legions, they'll keep doing that and producing Mythic Legions until one day it stops. And yes, there will be some disappointed people, but at the same time, we're going to have a company that didn't kill itself trying to get some toys out.
And delivered
Well,
on their
People will
promises.
still have a job.
Well, the
What
thing
I think is weird is that in the Kickstarters, or at least as far as I know, were never a thing until like the modern, you know, internet age. But you would think that in this age, you could work up some renderings, some shots, and put it out on social media, and then just wait for the buzz. Monitor the internet traffic of, are people interested in this or not, and then make it.
Buzz.
So I think the problem is it's three factors, right? It's one, yeah, we're in the internet age, but in the collecting community, there's so much competition, not just amongst you know, third parties, but in terms of like what's out there, what people want to spend their money on, what's the necessity, right? So all of us collect multiple lines. So none of us are Masters of the Universe collectors. So Snake Mountain, while this thing's awesome, it doesn't appeal to any of us. So none of us are going to drop the money on it. So it makes sense to kickstart something like this, in my opinion, just like it made sense to kickstart for Hasbro to kickstart the sail barge, because on paper, that vehicle is awesome, but you have to have people dedicate themselves to it, because 3 3/4-inch collecting, it's very niche. And Star Wars vehicles, like they came out with that 1/12 scale TIE fighter a few years ago, that shelf form.
Tanked.
It was a huge blow.
Disappointment.
Yeah, this point was awesome. People that had it said, like, this is close to studio scale, but took up a lot of shelf space. It was at most Toys R Us's till they closed, got marked all the way down to $50, and so it's high risk.
I'll think it's cheaper than that.
Yeah,
But
you know,
and then
Go ahead, Nick.
with some figures, with MMC, when they did Artfire, for example, yeah, they could only kickstart that one because, you know, Masterpiece Prime had just come out. The Make Toys Inferno, Masterpiece Inferno had come out. The Make Toys
Yeah.
Inferno can come out. So if they wanted that made perfect sense to kickstart
And
that.
Takara did their own, so they wanted to know that the people that were dedicated were going to go ahead and purchase it.
Do you know how big this thing is? I just
Yeah.
looked at this picture.
Yeah.
It is 48 inches by 36 inches.
Yeah.
That is
4x3
huge.
for those of you who can't convert.
Yeah,
That's like the size of a freaking washing machine.
I thought
So-
somebody had
Than a freaking
somebody
washing
had it
machine.
in front of a full-size bike,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Holy crap!"
so
It's like bigger than a bike.
something like this, that's like, I would say Masters of the Universe is becoming a niche market. There are dedicated fans, but the fiction isn't there, and it's not. There's no shelf space anymore for Masters of the Universe. Like, we've talked about shelf space shrinking for Transformers. At least Transformers has movies and a cartoon. It's getting a next Netflix series. You know, there's a marketplace for Transformers, but it makes a lot of sense to do a Kickstarter for something like this.
Well, again, the Mythic Legions, there is
Yeah.
no fiction for Mythic Legions, yet that is right now one of the hottest commodities in
Right.
the action figure market.
And-
Eventually, it's going to hit its critical mass, and by doing these Kickstarters, one day it's going to be like, all right, no one's buying it. We couldn't get the funding. Sorry, guys, you
Right.
ended it.
I think they banked on the people that are part of the D&D community. They banked on the people that are Four Horsemen fans. They banked on the Masters of the Universe fans and old school McFarlane fans, and that's where they were able to build their market. But like I was saying, we all collect various lines. So I think that's a factor, is you have to kickstart if it's a large scale item and there's a competitive marketplace amongst, say, like high-end collectors. Size, something that a lot of retailers, like even Big Bad Toy Store, which is a massive warehouse seller, how many of these are they actually going to order, because it's going to take up a lot of shelf space. And then again, that niche market, people may collect Masters of the Universe, but are they really going to invest in a Castle Grayskull and a Snake Mountain? And I think that's where you get your most hardcore dedicated fans and you make them commit to it. And that's where I see room for a Kickstarter. But when you're doing like something like Tetrajets, masterpiece scale Tetrajets, there's a market for that. Nobody else is doing it. Yeah. And what they did was criminal. And
yeah, that's different thing. If they don't pay out, that's a different scenario altogether.
Yeah.
But I would imagine with our import lines, we talk about, you and I, we collect the Figure Arts Street Fighter line.
Yeah.
And right now we're sitting there going like kind of in flux because we don't know who the next one's going to be.
But
companies like Figure Arts, imagine this. What if Bandai or Figma actually would kickstart their line, so that way, how deep are they going to go? Well, it depends on the Kickstarter.
Right. I think that's that. I think Japanese companies have their pride, and they don't want to have to resort to that. I don't want anybody to take offense to that, but I feel like Japanese companies are more willing to roll the dice on riskier ventures. And I think American companies, they are very cautious about being burned. They're very cautious about taking a financial blow. And that's why we're starting to see these go mainstream. I would personally like to see that, but I think honestly, we're more than likely going to see Storm Collectibles finish out Street Fighter and hit those core characters. I don't think that they'll outpace. I don't think that they'll outpace Bandai, but
they've already outpaced Bandai.
Have they though? Like, let's see, how many Street Fighter characters does each one have?
Okay, I'm gonna go Storm. You go Bandai. Storm has Ken, Ryu, Akuma, Zangief, Alex, M. Bison, and we're just getting Guile.
Yeah.
As well as Sagat. Plus they have Chun-Li. And then we have their alternate outfits as well.
Well, I can't count the alternate outfits.
But wait, they're just out, because then we also have Violent Ken, and then the Street Fighter Ultra Evil Ryu, which are they are remolds. And then, yes, they are actually doing remolds with them too, because while there's the Chun-Li in that dress that, is like scandalous. So that right there, I'm looking at 12 figures right now.
And they're up to 9 for Figuarts.
Oh.
But I don't really like to count remolds, repaints.
Well, they've got two versions. Storm's got two versions of Akuma. They have the Street Fighter Lion main one, then they have the more regular, accommodated one.
Right.
What was that?
And then the regular Street Fighter 2, Ken and Ryu. Did you mention them?
They got those coming out, and then we've got Guile coming out, and then so I'm just saying they've gone deeper into that line, plus with the variations. Like, they got 2 versions of M. Bison with like totally different jackets and things like that. So
somebody let me know when they announced the Brazilian chick with the hair, braided hair. Then I might.
What, Rainbow Mika?
No, wears
Rainbow
like
Mika's with
yellow.
Bandai made her already. She's Russian.
For anybody that watches all of these episodes, my Spider-Man took a wall dive. His little rubber bands, I guess they have a shelf life or a wall
They
life.
dry rated. They're dry rotted.
Yeah.
Gyrated.
You really cannot talk tonight.
I can't. It's been a work week. I mean, like I said, I started my day at 7:30ish, and I didn't stop working until 7:30 p.m.
That's when you know you have to take a day off work. When you can no longer like handle the English language, you just need to take a day.
I wish
there's other symptoms when you can't talk right.
I wish Joe Crab was my manager.
T, her name is Laura.
Dude, you know what? Tomorrow's Friday. You got the day off.
I like that. I like that mentality. The worst part, the best and worst part is because we're in storm. So I work for a major energy company. When we have storms and they raise storm flags, you can't do certain things. So I can't do my project work tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be quiet.
You should collect those storms.
No.
That's what I was say. Maybe that's why you hate Storm Collectibles.
You want me to sing the song?
Go for it.
No, not tonight. So next up on the list, final thing we talk about. Man, we're close time. NECA has some really cool new reveals. First of all, buddy,
They're back in Target.
What's back in Target?
My NECA display has been refreshed in all my Targets.
Oh yeah, they it's really interesting that it seems to be hitting all Targets. Mine have had the Leonardo sets for the Turtles, and the Golden Girls have started to show up. So my buddy's wife is probably going to be thrilled to see those. We have one of our first SDCC exclusives from NECA, and that is this one is actually really cool. It's John Connor from Terminator 2 with the bike. I think it's kind of foolish they're making this an SDCC exclusive. This looks like a really well thought out set. He's got the little hacking device that he used to hack the ATM with Budnick from Salute Your Shorts.
I think they're going to give us the kids and give me a break.
I don't think so. That would make more sense to make that like the SDCC exclusive. But
I think he did the voice of Montana Max too on Tiny Teens.
He did actually. The last thing I remember him being in was Quake 4.
I can't believe I didn't realize that. That just hit me.
What?
The Montana Max voice. I'm like having a moment here. Sorry, continue.
But it's really cool. His backpack's even removable. And Nate Simmons is probably right. He says, I bet John Connor will be in GameStop afterwards.
But probably won't have the bike.
No.
Probably not. The scale on these...
I like the Terminator arm. I love that arm.
Yeah, I think the Terminator arm. I could really care less about John Connor. I want Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
She's been out.
They're making her.
They've made her. She's been out.
I have never seen it. I don't know things, though, so...
Yeah, she has a hat. She's Terminator 2 one, right?
Yeah.
NECA Sarah Connor.
So to Joe's point, he wants one that's released that he knows about, that he can buy.
But yeah, I think this set looks really cool. And then there was another NECA set that I was unaware of that I love it for the packaging as well, and that's the Karate Kid 2-pack. Have you guys seen this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It has Mego arms.
It does. I mean, and I'm not the biggest...
NECA has a line. NECA has a soft goods line, actually.
Yeah.
They made... they made a Jason. They did make a Leatherface. And they made a lot of Eddies from Iron Maiden in that line.
Yeah, and Golden Girls and Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura. Well, Ace Ventura is not soft goods.
It's not?
No. He's like Weird Al, where all the clothing's sculpted.
What about Coraline?
That's Diamond Select.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'll take a Pat Morita, though.
Yeah, I love this Mr. Miyagi. Then
Hey, is that one of
Mr.
those Fortnite figures?
Before it was Fortnite, yes.
I don't remember this, but my mom told me I won the Halloween costume contest when I was in pre-K because I was the only person that had on like a scary costume, and it was the skeleton. I have no recollection of that.
It's probably for the best.
So, I wanted to end the evening with one discussion. I know we're coming up on time, but NECA's been doing a lot of off the wall not franchises, but lines rather.
IPs, yeah.
IPs. What do you guys want to see them do?
All right.
Transformers.
No. I'm gonna go with something. Listen, it's been a while. All right. We don't have to worry about upsetting the huge pile of cash that Disney has. Give me Spaceballs figures. I want 'em.
Yeah.
Those would be awesome.
Actually, a whole Mel
Do
Brooks
it.
line would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Spaceballs,
Young
History of the World Part
Frankenstein.
1, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles. Holy, that would be
Stick
a
with that
fantastic
theme.
cash cow.
As far as like the comedies, there's classic comedies. Monty Python.
See, I was gonna say, I was gonna actually go Gene Wilder, and I was gonna say the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. I would just give me that and a couple Oompa Loompas.
Princess
I don't.
Bride?
What?
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There's some 6-scale stuff for Princess Bride, but I don't do 6-scale.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Mama's Family.
Nobody
Seriously,
did Killer Clowns yet?
No,
I don't think anyone's done Killer Clowns.
Perfect Strange. You know what? Honestly, what I would really like. I
Three's
would like.
Company, yeah.
No, I'd like an Urkel.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would love Urkel was
And Carl.
Urkel was my Friday. Yes, I would love an Urkel and Carl. Like Family Matters was my Friday night when I was a kid for a long period of time.
I will give you a Carl. I will give you a Carl Winslow only if they give me a John McClane as well.
And
How
then
about
they could remold the Carl Winslow into the dad or the uncle from Fresh Prince.
No,
They don't even have to change anything.
James Avery and Reginald Bill Johnson are two different people, man.
They are two different people, but in action figure form. Just a part swap.
If
That's
they
like
give me a
going,
James,
I want a NECA Turtles line with James Avery as the Shredder.
Yeah, there you go.
that'd actually be kind of cool, doing like a little voice acting studio. But if they did a James Avery figure, he would have to come with Lucille.
That would be pretty badass if you did like the classic characters, but in the body shape of their voice actor.
like that one Family Guy where they had like James Earl Jones in the Darth Vader costume.
Yeah.
And also Fresh Prince for NECA. You can do Fresh Prince. Will Smith with his reversible school jacket.
Woo!
I want the cast of Little Shop of Horror.
Ooh,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I could see them doing justice with the Audrey too. They could do some really good work with that.
Give us multiple.
Give him
Have the Diamond Select.
Matt. Give him
Sully.
figure action points. I'm giving this one to T-Man. T-Man has come up with the best one. I'm sorry. As much as I love the whole Mel Brooks line, I could see them conceivably doing the Little Shop of Horrors.
So plus
Very well.
2 figure action points to T-Man, minus 2 figure action points to Dave for telling me what to do.
Oh,
What if they made a puppet Audrey too as well to go with it?
Because NECA does that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm loving it on all that hits all that NECA does.
dude, Sportimus says step by step in Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. He would.
Jane Seymour is still hot.
But in NECA form?
Yeah.
What about
enough
Star
foundation.
Trek? What about Star Trek figures in NECA?
They just, they do whatever the. Oh, McFarlane was doing some of that shit.
So Joe can lose another flute.
Yeah. No, I got the flute. I got the flute somewhere. It's
the
around.
crystal, man. You get the crystal whether you like it or not.
Oh, fuck that
Is
crystal.
it
man.
lost? Is it lost in Did you lose Picard's flute in Beverly Crusher?
Oh. No, he lost it in Wesley.
Oh,
No, Wesley will find it though.
that's wrong. Shut up, Wesley.
Why are you putting there? Shut up, Wesley.
Winston says Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf would be
Teen
That'd be
Wolf,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there
80s
some 6-scale Teen Wolf shit out there? I think there is.
They'll do a Kickstarter for the guy at the end of the movie that had his dick out in the bleachers.
Now see, that's a niche target audience there.
It is. It is.
Zero will get enough of them to make sure it kickstarts.
What about the weird little kid from Back to the Future 3 that was pointing at his junk?
Okay, wait. I've seen that movie.
You know what?
like
Change of
1,000
topic.
times.
Change of topic. Change of topic.
No, we can't yet. I need to know, where is this in the movie?
Yeah, what are we talking about here?
Somebody, I've just seen footage of it. Like they were like crazy outtakes that made it into movies. So probably look up a list of that.
All right, I'll have to
Was-
because God, I've seen that movie so many times.
Was this on
Yeah,
Pornhub?
don't put in your web history little kid pulling his junk. Okay, that you will have
No,
the FBI.
he was pointing.
You'll
at
have Jared Fogle and Jared Nauenbauer, aka Pro Jared.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
they're both hunting two very different types.
Just don't be named Jared in 2019.
Pretty
Not,
much.
not a good
Still
time for
looking
you.
good.
But no, NECA. I really like the Little Shop of Horrors. I would love to get a Steve Martin figure.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
Stop.
you haven't.
Stop. The jerk.
Never seen
No, not enough.
What?
Not enough.
No. What? The jerk with the oil cans.
I know, but I just none. I could see
That's
this,
like
I
the
could see
best
Steve,
movie ever, though.
but it wouldn't go well for NECA. The Steve Martin dentist and it would come with the gas mask pack, and then oh God, they could get us a Bill Murray figure with removable teeth.
No, I've watched that movie a million times, and I
Nate
never
wins.
realized
Nate
how
wins.
tall Bill Murray was.
Nate says Missed Outfire. He wins hands down.
No,
Nate.
I got one for you. I want Brennan Huff and Dale Doback.
Who?
I don't know what that was.
Step Brothers.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Well, if no. If I would
Oh,
have
God,
that,
no.
give me
All the
Tucker and Dale. I would do Tucker and Dale over that.
I'm telling you, you do the Step Brothers, all the accessories you're gonna have. You got night vision goggles. You got a katana signed by Randy Jackson.
Sport of the
You got
Star,
a
Grand
fancy dog.
Slam,
If you
Caddy,
could-
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. Yeah, there you go. I think the Missed Outfire would be better if it was like Hot Toys, and if it was all soft goods, and you actually could transfer from
Yes.
male to the Missed Outfire mode.
You know,
Now
if
that's
you-
one where you don't want your other half walking into the room when you're doing that.
Can it come with the flaming boobs accessory?
Definitely.
I just
You
oh
got
God, I just thought of
I'm waiting on my Mezco Joanna, man.
your to kind of tangent from Zero's idea. Why not just do like the Will Ferrell line, almost like you do with Seekers, and you have the Will Ferrell
Yeah.
from
Anchorman.
Step Brothers. Your Will
Yeah,
Ferrell
where's
from
Ron
Anchorman.
Burgundy?
Your
Ron Burgundy.
You
Yeah, there you
get
go.
your Ron
This-
Burgundy. You get
Did
your
you just
Ricky
segue
Bobby.
in? Did you just segue into what's the appeal of repaints topic? Is that what you just
I
did?
mean, I
The Will Ferrell
kind of did.
repaint.
I kind of did. I really want to go in depth on that. So if you guys want to roll into that,
I don't mind. I'm like too deep into the turpentine here, so I'll just pour another.
it's an excuse for me to crack open another beer.
Yeah, I
But
think
I'll
we
roll
missed
into
that topic
I'll
last
roll
week, right?
into it like Nemesis Prime.
There you go. Yeah, Elf is one that they did. So, I mean, I'd love that. I'd love to have Ricky Bobby. I'd love to have
Just an entire Will Ferrell line
Yeah.
of his roles.
yeah.
That actually, I could see a marketing appeal to that. To be honest,
Oh, you know what would be cool too? If they did Mad TV figures.
Oh God,
No,
That
no.
would be freaking classic.
that
Yes.
now there's niche, but I love Mad TV, and it's kind of crazy how
Stewart
relevant
and his
Mad
mom.
TV stayed. God, I can't talk, but I always looked at Key and Peele as like the spiritual successor to Mad TV, just because of you had Key and Peele obviously, and I think Bobby Lee was in quite a few of them.
So 2 things I got to add to this. 1, Will Ferrell's overrated. Fight me.
Whoa!
And number 2, see number 1.
You don't
I
choose
love,
Big Red then, do you?
No, I used
Yeah.
to love Will Ferrell
Fuck
movies till I
you.
realized my favorite parts of the
I
older
love that reference.
the older parts of my favorite parts of all the older Will Ferrell movies were Vince Vaughn.
Hey, in the words of the late great Colonel Sanders, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
Huh?
It was a line from Talladega Nights.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
God damn it, Matt! Go
God,
give me all your figure
I
action
haven't
points.
watched it
All of
the way
them.
through.
In living color. Sportman says he went to Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh yeah. Fucking
I could-
homie,
I
don't
could
play
bet-
that
I
shit
bet-
anymore.
Men on films.
I'd
Men
back
on
that
Film,
Kickstarter.
Handyman. Head Detective.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What was
Oh.
the bum name that always had the pickle jar?
Um.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
God, I can't remember what his
He always
name
had
And you
something
could-
fun.
And you could totally repaint with a slight remold of Pennywise and turn that into Homie the Clown.
There you go.
I gotta look at the bum's name.
I think.
Don't get NECA on the phone. Why is it NECA
Oh,
watching our show?
it was
Usually they can bust them
Anton. It was Anton Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I thought that shit was funny when I was a kid.
and the
Oh,
That made
Jamaicans.
me think about Tyrone Bigham.
Yeah, basically kind of like a
Hey,
rip
man.
Oh god, see that's another one. They could do characters from Chappelle's Show. That's what
Rick
NECA.
James. Everybody will buy Rick James.
Fuck yeah, that's what NECA ought to do is like do spotlights on actors. Like McFarlane used to do musicians, and like I think that there's really a good market for that. I mean, Figuarts did Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson, but they kind of just gave up on doing all that. They did Bruce Lee, they did some wrestlers, but I think if NECA were to like take like, okay, we're gonna do a line of musicians, we can do like Dave Grohl, we'll do Lenny Kravitz, we'll do Keith Richards, we'll do fucking Elton John, Freddie Mercury. There'd be a huge market for that, and just do different stages.
I mean, just a Kurt. I mean, a Kurt Cobain would be a blast to have.
Yeah. Oh
Jeez.
man! So Dave, you get all of the figure action points that Matt ever had.
I'm keeping track. No, he doesn't.
You better update that spreadsheet, bro.
You can have your 2 back though.
And yes, Mortis, I agree. But NECA should hire us as consultants.
They definitely should. Everyone
We
should.
already
hire us.
fixed their fucking shelves for them. They should hire us.
Every company.
So before we end tonight's show, we talk about the appeal of repaints. So Joe and I, we got 2 repaints of figures we already own that they're nothing different than a different color. What's the appeal of repaints? Why do we like repaints? We were talking about Siege Wave 3 earlier. We've obviously got Red Alert, some of our favorite Transformers characters, the Seekers, are repaints. Why do we like repaints so much?
Well, I was thinking about this, and I don't want to count the Siege because they're cheap. But when it comes to some like this TFC Sergeant Commander, when you get a repaint, like when you love a figure so much, and you have a blast with it, and then a repaint comes out, and it's visually appealing, and you decide to order it, you get it back, you receive it, it kind of rekindles that whole, it like kind of brings back the fun that you had with the first one. And the very first thing I did was I pulled the other one off the shelf, and I started posing them together and taking pictures. And so I think it's kind of like it to me. Like if something's a piece of shit, I don't care what they do with repaints. I'm not gonna buy it. But for like a real like that Sergeant Commander is probably like my favorite Transformer that I have. It's the one that I pick up the most just because it's easy to transform. It's so solid. It looks awesome. It's heavy as fuck. Everything's just extremely well built on it. If, like I said earlier, if they did, it doesn't matter what repaints they come out with. Like they could do desert camo, black, Arctic color, whatever. I'm gonna buy them. I could have a whole freaking shelf full of these things.
That's like the Mortal Kombat ninjas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too cheap for that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with Marvel Legends, a lot of the stuff that you get technically repaints, like all the Spider-Men that you have. But I think it's like Joe said, it's a testament to a figure you love. You do, you know, you kind of already know it's a good toy, right?
Yeah.
For me, I only want to buy the repaint if the characters are known to be two different characters, or if the second deco is better. I'll probably buy it because I like the second deco, but it won't make me want to pull both of them out and pose them together. I'll just play with the new one that I like the deco better on.
I've never been a troop builder, but I've always liked the idea of having it as a separate character. So like, you know, if I were to get the camo version of the Commander figure, to me he'd be like the kind of the clone that, you know, the reverse engineered G.I. Joe one version of Optimus.
I think that's what he is, because that the color of his crotch looks like old school Marvel comics coloring.
Didn't realize.
Well, he's also more of the what they were originally going for with the Rolling Thunder. You know, it's the whole army military aesthetic color scheme that he's got going on.
Wasn't that the official color anyway?
It was just green though. It wasn't like actually camo. Like this has a camo pattern on it.
Yeah, the original deco was more accurate. Like the original deco that they showed for the green version. This, I think, is just a subjectively better deco.
Well, I think of one of my favorite figures that kind of gotten forgotten about is back in back with Transformers Prime, and that was Dreadwing and Skyquake.
Yeah,
which were two identical figures, and it just had each one had a slightly different. Each one had a different paint job, like specifically on their faces. I remember Skyquake's head, the crest was painted different. I mean, I'm looking at them right now, and they still look absolutely amazing.
Which
Even
one?
Though they're both solid figures, and they just looked good. You know, more colors of them, I probably would have bought them as well.
Which
the big one is, you know, getting a Black Prime figure, your Nemesis Prime, your Acid Storm Prime, your Shattered Glass Prime. But they did an Ava Unit 1 Prime.
The MP10 is where they go overboard. But yeah, people buy them, but like,
how many gravity builders? How many gravity builders did they produce?
They did a clear, and they did a cell shaded one, right? And they did
the generation
yellow, orange.
Yellow, and they did orange. They did the weathered.
Yeah, I think you're thinking Toy
Have they done the
World.
multicolored Diaclone yet? No, I thought it was it Toy World that did that
Toy
they milked
World
that mold? But
yeah, Toy World's the one that did it.
Oh, okay.
Gravity Builder has a lot of repaints. But T, you had a question?
Skyquake and Dreadwind. I forgot which one was which. Which one is the green one?
Dreadwind is the green one.
That's the one I never got.
I thought
Yeah, he
Dreadwind
was
the blue
only
one.
one to a case. No, the green one was one to a case, and I was able to. I got him.
Yeah, I never saw him. I don't think.
I saw him a few times and I passed on him just because in person, in package, I didn't think he looked all that great.
Oh, they look so good. I'm
I
looking
like
at my shelf right now. They look so good.
the blue one looks better, but I still wanted both of them.
The blue one reminded me of like
they
one of
look
the
good.
Blue Angels, so that's why I bought him.
Well, and they look good back to back, like when you put them next to each other, which is another appeal for repaints. Like when Joe did that picture of those two commanders back to back, they looked absolutely awesome.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Thank you.
I mean, how many people? You look at Star Wars, all the various versions of the clone troopers. People have bought all
And
those.
droids.
How many R2D2s are there?
Well, there's R2 units. I'm
R2
surprised
units.
Matt.
You get where I'm going at. You get where I'm going at with that. But yeah, I mean, you said there's Seekers, and then, but with specific like the Primes, they don't even try to address it as a different character. It's here's a Prime in another color.
Well, the Nemesis Primes they do address as different characters, but for the most part,
Well, like I was saying earlier, the MP10 is when they start getting a little cheesy, where it's like, oh, the 7-Eleven, and here's your,
Every night.
Adidas one. It's like, come on. Like next thing we know, we're gonna have, just like crazy off the wall, which it's just like it's a little too hoard out, for my opinion. However, if they do like a Jack Daniels version of that, I'm all over it.
Jack Daniels. What you have a Jack Daniels one? You have that one running right next to Pepsi Prime, and you got yourself a combo right there.
There you go. And I'm glad you said Pepsi because fuck Coke.
Joe,
Did they ever make a
we
Pepsi
friends
MP10?
anymore.
Fuck Coke. Coke is
That's a
shit.
strong opinion.
It is a strong opinion. Fight me on it.
They never made a Pepsi MP10.
Not yet, but they might
did?
make a Pepsi MP44.
Oh no.
Did y'all see they're bringing the new Coke back?
Now that is a repaint that people won't be able to afford. How cheap
Yeah.
can they ever come out with MP44? They're not going to be MP10 pricings.
Yeah, without it would be MP44 without a trailer.
I mean, they did plenty of MP10s without the trailer. The gold version of MP10 didn't have a trailer.
I think it's gonna be $300 without the trailer.
No, he'd probably be close to 150 without the trailer.
Nate Simmons says RC Cola? What?
I am not mixing Jack with RC. That would be a hangover 2 sips later with all that sugar.
RC
The
Cola.
the
With
favorite,
the moon pie.
my favorite soda mix is probably Sailor Jerry and root beer. You could do like the aged vanilla. Is it Barks?
Best is still either Crown and Ginger or a 7 and 7.
Oh, shit, they painted these missile pods copper. I didn't realize that. That's like one thing too I love about repaints is when they go back and they get some sort of small detail and they really bring a figure to life just through like one, a few accents or
I hate it when Hasbro sometimes did the opposite, where the repaint doesn't have any details. Like it barely has any paint. That happened with Combiner Wars a lot.
yeah. Whereas like in Beast Wars, when they got another use out of a mold, they oftentimes would, because they weren't making any new mold, they'd make that repaint shine. They take the opportunity to make, okay, well, we're being lazy with this one, but we're at least gonna, put more into the paint budget.
You know, it was a really successful repaint that just came to me, and it bucks the trend a little bit. If you remember the classics, Sunstreaker and Sideswipe, the way they did that, in that the figure was the exact same figure, but transformed two different ways. Could be transformed two different ways to invoke each figure differently.
The Chug, you mean the original Chug one?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
the classics line. Yeah, the Chug that you flip the front end around and the head backwards or vice versa, depending on which character you wanted. But I mean, they were essentially the same figure, two different paint jobs, obviously for your brothers. But
it's like one was a punch and the other was a counter punch.
That is perfect example.
Yeah. But I like what they did, even though eventually we got too many. With Combine the Wars and Titans Returns, like mainly Titans Returns, most of the figures use some of the same skeleton or some of the same parts, but then the whole rest of their body would be completely different, sort of like Marvel Legends. Like a lot of figures had the same legs that Blur had, the same hips. Every other body part would be different.
And they just needed to reel that shit in a little bit. Like if they'd have just dialed it back some, it would have been, I don't know. I think they just went off the rails and went crazy. People got sick of it, but it was a good idea. It just
we should end the show right now while Joe is gone, and Joe has no idea why we left.
But I think that's
you
it.
might.
I think Joe's liquor has got the best of him.
Yeah. How you doing, Dave?
Breaking the seal. Thank you, Sport. It is a nice shirt, isn't it?
I am feeling the week catching up to me. Let's put it that way.
Well, since we're all in our late 30s. Well, I'm not in my late 30s. We're
early
older.
40s.
Yeah, it's like I'm not even in my man. Where am I getting off in being in my late 30s? I'm close to being in my mid 30s. I think we've made our point. I think we've picked a good dropping off point. So let's get some where you at, and we'll call it an evening. True Star Screamer, tell everybody once more where they can find your excellent photography.
You can always catch me on Instagram at True Star Screamer, which is pretty much where I focus most of my geekdom now.
Very cool.
And that is TRU.
Like the old store.
Oh. Every time you say that, you got to pour a 40 on one of the previous Toys R Us locations. Mr. Parts Former, for those that don't know, where can they find you at?
Pretty much any of the social medias. You just type Parts Former in, and I'll be there. It's not like you're going to summon me.
Except Pornhub.
Oh, you can type
don't jump to conclusions. And here with you fine folk.
Mr. Joe Crab.
Same, right here, Thursdays. Sometimes drunk, sometimes not. And Instagram. Mainly on the Figure Action Podcast Instagram, which some of you may not know, we have an Instagram. Check it out.
We even have a hashtag if you want to follow our pictures.
We have a hashtag? Holy shit. I should
Bigger Action Podcast.
I should probably put that hashtag on pictures when I post them.
You probably should.
What a good idea.
I'm fired.
You were never on the payroll anyway.
All right.
I got us all demonetized anyway. And you could Google him if you wanted to, but if you didn't want to do that, T-Man, tell those fine
here. If you don't feel like doing that, you'll find me here next week. Unless I'm sleepy.
Unless I was going to say, unless he's sleeping.
Yeah.
As for me, you can find me on Instagram as Extra Zero. You can find me on Twitter at The Original Zero. You can find me on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live as Extra Zero. There's a space between Extra and Zero on Xbox. And yes, I did see that new Call of Duty trailer today, and I will be getting that later on in the year. It looks actually really good. I've been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat.
Can we go ahead and book a slot for next week for what the fuck is going on with that Death Stranding game?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
All
or
right,
a
that's
B-side.
going to be the topic.
Or a B-side. I'd do a B-side on that one. I would totally be on for a B-side for that.
I'd like to talk about it. I'm a big Kojima fan, so I'd like to talk about that. And as always, you can find me here with these fine gentlemen every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Pacific Time. We are Figure Action. We are a collector's podcast. We're here on YouTube. And again, if you haven't already, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and that notification bell so you can get alerted when we do things like that Death Stranding B-side. I've been your host, Extra Zero. This has been the cast of Figure Action, and we will catch you again next time next Thursday. Same time, same place. Have a good one.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.